West Central Line. I'm the Sustainability Director here at UB Whitewater. I'm also one of the co-chairs of the Warhawk Pantry Advisory Council. So there's two of us that are on a committee that help run the Warhawk Pantry, which is the on-campus food pantry. And I'm gonna give you a little tour today to just kind of show you around. So just a little bit of background on myself. I'm a two-time graduate of Whitewater, and I've been working here for 12 years. So basically my whole adult life I've been around the Whitewater campus in some way. So, you know, I'm definitely got a lot of history that way, and I was really excited to get involved in this project because it's a great way to give back to students. So that's kind of my deal, and then I'll let Olivia behind the camera introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Olivia. I'm a senior this year, and I'm the Warhawk Pantry Student Assistant. I've been with the pantry for about 2.5 years, and I will be the face that you would see if you were to come in. Located
over by Drumlin Hall, so Drumlin's over to our left here. And then to the right is Clem. So we're standing right between Drumlin and Clem right now. Right behind Olivia is the tennis courts. And then you'll kind of see in the distance behind me, we have Lee and Fricker and some of the other residence halls. So if you know where Drumlin is, and most people can figure that much out, you can find us. Now we have a secret entrance. We have a little outdoor entrance that you can come into. So if you look up the sidewalk, you'll see a glass door, and that's one of our entrances into the pantry. So we're gonna walk this way, go inside and show you around the pantry a little bit, tell you a little bit about the history, answer a few kind of basic questions. Now obviously, if you have questions, you can leave them in comments wherever you see this video being posted, or feel free to reach out to us at foodpantry.uww.edu. We're happy to answer any of your questions, but at least for now, Olivia will sub in and ask a few questions if she thinks of anything. Maybe she's got some stuff that she doesn't know after all this time of working with us, so we'll see what comes out. But let's go ahead and head up to the main entrance here. All right, so the first stop, we'll talk a little bit about this little entryway here. This is the what we call the little free pantry. So we have a small set of shelving here on the right, and those items are available for you 24/7, pretty much anytime you want to stop by and get some emergency supplies, even if we're not open or if we're not responding to the email in a timely fashion. We always try to keep a few things stocked out here. So we got some peanut butter, we got some canned green beans. Who doesn't love a good canned green bean? Some flapjack mix. This stuff is really good, by the way. Some bow tie pasta. So just a few kind of emergency items that way. The crates you see on the ground actually aren't here all the time. These are part of a CSA program that we run through the sustainability office. So these are people that buy in shares. But some of the produce that we generate through the campus garden, we will try to save some of that for clients of the Whitewater Pantry. So keep an eye out on the refrigerator that we'll see inside. You'll maybe see a little bit of fresh produce. It's all organically grown.
Is this something that we can see year-round?
It is not something you can see year-round. We usually will have that available mostly in fall. So September and October are really the best window of time to get produce in here. But occasionally in like April and May, we'll start to get asparagus and a few of the really early season stuff. But over the summertime, what we're hoping to do is at least be able to provide a little bit more produce for people that are around in the summer that need that help. And then we have a donation bin here. So if you're seeing this, and you know, and the way we look at it is our clients are both the people that donate to us as well as take our items. You know, sometimes you might be in a pinch and you need to use the pantry as a client and take a few items, but maybe later when you have additional food left over that you want to donate back, there's an option to donate those items. So we always look at everyone who comes to the pantry as being either or. And the pantry is always open to everyone that is a Warhawk. So anyone that's faculty, staff, or students that are on campus are welcome to use it. Now, obviously, a lot of this is geared more towards students. Students tend to have a little bit lower income and might need more assistance kind of day to day. But, you know, anyone can use it. So that's really kind of the main message. So we'll come on in. It'll be a little less echoey inside. And then this is one of the kind of entryways in. And there's also an entryway that leads directly into Drumlin Hall. So So we'll check that out real quick. So just up the sidewalk from where we were is another door to get right into Drumlin. I always kind of get lost in Drumlin. I get a little turned around. When I was a student here, I went to Esker, so I'm not a Drumlin kid. I'm an Esker kid, if there is such a thing. So anyway, this is the other entrance. So we'll come on back in. So if you come visit us at the pantry, you're usually going to be welcomed by Olivia, who sits right behind the front desk over here. So you come over and check in with her before you get started. And for any new clients that we have come in, there's an intake form. It's just a really simple form that basically kind of covers the terms of use. You know, the very simple principle is that we don't want anyone to go hungry, and we want people to be able to access food as they need it. So we have people fill out this form as a declaration of need, and we don't have any kind of income requirements. We don't ask you any questions, personal questions about your situation. If you come in and you say, I need help, we're going to be here to help you. And we don't ask any questions to follow up as far as that goes. There's a little bit of terms and conditions on here. So again, this is open to, it's intended for whitewater students, but open to anyone that's a Warhawk, anyone with a Hawk card. If you're a community member and you're seeing this, we have helped community members that are in a pinch, but we also recommend that you visit the community food pantry or the community space. Those are two great resources in the Whitewater area that will help you as a community member. And then a waiver of liability. The food that we get is donated to us for purchase from food banks, so there's a waiver of liability just acknowledging that you're taking on those risks by using our products. And if you sign off on all that, then you can go ahead and get started. So the overall goal, like I said, is really to try to provide a safe, respectful, and inclusive environment for students and others to obtain food, toiletry supplies, and other information or resources available to them. And some of those resources are also available here on Olivia's desk. So we have different partnerships with other nonprofits in the area, such as Affordable Dental. We have a little bit of information about WIC, which is available for food assistance as well. Food share and Quest card. So a little bit of extra resources if what we can provide to you is not enough. And typically we ask our clients to just come in once a week. So we really are intended more to be an emergency supply pantry rather than providing you with full meals. So you can kind of close a little bit of that gap. But if you find that you have a routine need, we do encourage you to try to reach out to some of those additional resources and try to get the help that you're looking for. Right now we have, of course, a little bit of reminder about social distancing and face coverings, which is how we're sporting things down here today. We have a few COVID care kits, so if you need a mask and some extra sanitizers, we have plenty of that available for you right now here in the fall semester. And then there's also, we'll ask you to put a little bit of sanitizer on before you start shopping, just to keep things kind of clean and good to go. And then there's a little Hawk card swipe over here. So if the Hawk card swipe is operational, Olivia will ask you to swipe that. And all we're recording for data is just your ID number, so we know the frequency at which you are visiting, but we don't share that information with anyone. We send that to the Dean of Students office. So, you know, the idea there is that we can continue to help you if you need it, but we pass that information on to the professionals to provide that information. All right, so I'll talk a little bit about maybe some of the first steps of how we got started. You know, of course, one of the first steps is, what is the need? Do we actually need a pantry? And we need to try to measure that. So we did a lot of research on what other campuses have experienced, and they typically will find that there is some need, some level of self-identified need from students. So we try to do some kind of survey to measure that need. And we administered our survey to look at what the need was for the fall 2017 semester. So during the course of that semester, did you experience some kind of condition that you felt made you food insecure? And we had about, I think it was 35% of the respondents say that they had experienced some degree of food insecurity, which was in alignment with what we were seeing from our literature review. So we felt like we were in the same position as most college campuses, that there's a lot of students that might have that need, and we wanted to make sure we were providing an additional resource or outlet for meeting some of that need. So the survey went out in March of 2018. That just so happens that was the month we opened. So we didn't really need to demonstrate the need. We already showed that there was kind of an existing trend around this. And really what happened is we started a committee back in spring of 2017. We just started looking at the issue. We started thinking about what it would take to open it up and started talking about it. We created some basic implementation lists, readiness checklists, and other things just to kind of get the ball rolling whenever we got approval. Well, it just so happens that the chancellor at that time got wind of our project and what we were doing. She told us to open it in 6 weeks from the time that she told us. So very aggressive timeline. Basically, she didn't need to see the survey data. She felt like she already knew that there was going to be a need, and she was right on that. So we had a goal of opening the very first week of March, and we ended up getting open on March 13th. So we were just a little bit off our mark, but we did a great job kind of rallying everything together to get opened up. The first location we were in was in Whitehall, which gave students a really fun experience of entering a vacant building that most people have walked by a bunch of times but never been in. We were the only occupants of Whitehall, so that was very much a temporary solution. And then in the process of getting the pantry set up, University Center took over the management of the space, and they also managed the dining hall. So they had a space in Drummond Hall here, an old office space that we were able to use. And we were able to move into an occupied building, which is always a bonus, and gave us a lot of space to be able to expand into the future. So we're really happy about being in this space just because it gives us a lot of options and possibilities. Let me just see if I covered everything there. I think I did. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and start about talking about some of the items available, and we'll do that as part of the tour here. So we'll take a step into this little room here. Fun fact, this used to be the UW Credit Union at one time, about 12 years ago, and this little room is where they kept the money. This was a little safe room. So, yeah, it's got a little breach in the ceiling though. So I guess if you're really athletic, you can get in there yet. But yeah, this was their little safe room. So what we use this room for is primarily our toiletry items, home care items, personal care items. So you'll see a wide variety of different things in here, things from laundry pods, you got some styrofoam plates, a lot of oral care products, feminine hygiene products, deodorant, you name it, there's all kinds of good stuff. And then I like to consider this the random shelf. So there's a lot of really interesting things on here. Now this is a steal. You get yourself Welcome to Mooseport on DVD. That is what you're looking for. That's the good stuff. Lots of pens available. We get water bottles from the University Center that are left behind. So these are lost and found water bottles. We take them to the greenhouse and we go through a sanitation process to make sure that they're completely germ free, and then bring them down to the pantry to get back out and put back into circulation. So that's something that our office, the sustainability office, helps out with. We have a few kind of warm weather gear in here, a couple school supplies. This is one of the areas that we hope to expand into in the future, where we can offer more of these types of items that students might have a need for, and we just kind of keep a steady inventory of a lot of different random things that might just meet random needs that come up. All right, we'll go ahead and step out and look at some of the other stock. So the way our pantry setup is supposed to be a shopping style format. So essentially you can start off by grabbing a plastic bag from our little basket here, and then you can just kind of walk around and shop at the different locations. So this shelf, it says take up to 2 items. So you can pick and choose whatever 2 items you really want to get a hold of first. Personally, if I see Cinnamon Toast Crunch, that's automatically going into my bag. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is amazing. But you can never go wrong with some pasta, as far as, getting a nice big bag of pasta to be able to stretch over a couple different meals. And then we'll kind of walk over this way. We start getting into a lot of our canned goods. So if you're someone who's a little bit more creative as a chef, you can start to combine different ingredients. Like you got pasta, tuna, and green beans. Does that sound good? I don't know, maybe. Olivia says no. But we have a lot of different combinations that you can kind of experiment with. The really nice thing is that we get a lot of this food from Feeding America, which is a food bank in the Milwaukee area. And we're able to buy this food really for pennies on the dollar. So it usually comes out to be close to like 20 cents a pound for all the food that you see here. So we're really able to stock them and provide a lot of different items. But as you may be able to imagine, green beans in a can aren't super popular with students. So we try to provide a lot of other more convenience type foods as well. Now, you never go wrong with a good soup, good meal in a pinch. We got a whole bunch of different types of soup. I think Olivia and I were talking a little bit about one of the gumbos over here, which sounds delicious. Of course, you got some mac and cheese, and then you start to see a few of the convenience foods that basically all you do is add a little bit of water, throw it in the microwave, and you got yourself a quick little snack. So we try to provide as much of this as we can. Now, a lot of that's not available from Feeding America, so we do rely on donations from the community, either items like this directly or financial donations that go into our foundation account, and we can use that money to buy the items that students really want the most. So we can kind of prioritize. We always want to provide a variety of different healthy options, but we also recognize that students want convenient options as well. So we want to kind of provide a nice balance of both. Let's see. So in order to collect the food that we offer, we do a lot of different food drives with different campus departments, student organizations. We're always interested in finding partners for that. We even have a supply of bins that would be available for you to put your own kind of label on and then put out in different buildings and help do food drives around. So we definitely encourage you to think about that. And again, kind of consider, what do you think a student would really want to eat, and try to target that the best you can and try to recruit those types of donations in your food drive. That stuff works out really well. We also do a program for move out. So under a normal semester, when students are able to move out in May, we'll collect food from all the departing students of the residence halls. The first time we did this, we got about 1,000 pounds of donations. And a lot of this stuff was just kind of leftover food that people didn't want to bring home with them. It was perfectly good. And we've been able to rotate that into our stock, and then that kind of solves the need of providing items that students want to eat. Like I said, cash donations are always welcome. You can go to the foundation website, and there's a selection, a drop-down box where you can actually select it and donate whatever dollar amount you see fit. And then we get a little bit of produce donations, like I mentioned before, so that's what the fridge is here. Before I go into that, though, we do have a couple of take-all-you-need items, so if you want to stock up on IHOP cups, we're good to go. We got you covered. Oatmeal packets, you can take as many of these as you want. So some of this we just want to kind of keep moving through, and you see a lot of our random donations kind of show up in these shelves too. Chips Ahoy, good stuff.
There's some baby formula in this corner.
Even some baby formula, yeah, yep. Not all of our students are traditional students. A lot of our students do have children, so we have been trying to provide a nice wide range of different offerings like that. So we got a little bit of produce in here. Usually the produce that's available, Olivia will put some kind of sign on it just to remind you when it was put in and that it's available. I think right now we have some tomatoes, some celery, all produce that we grew in the campus garden. And then over here we have a freezer, and inside the freezer we usually keep bread. We get some donation of bread from Panera. Panera donates a lot of bread to the community food pantry, but they get so many donations that they're not able to go through it all. So on occasion, we'll go down and pick out some of the Panera bread that they have left over and then freeze it because it holds over a lot better that way. All right, and then we'll just kind of peek into these other rooms here. So we use the room on the left for just kind of overstock and prepping. One of the projects we're hoping to get off the ground this semester is to do kind of an order and delivery system for students living in Clem Hall that are either isolated or quarantined. So we're still kind of working on that, but some of the items in here are kind of meant for that project. Now we have another little office where we do a lot of the staging for the CSA program that I mentioned before. So people that buy into our shares and get a weekly delivery of produce, this is where we do all the weighing and prepping for that. So we have these two offices available. And then back here, we have our inventory room or our stock room. So this is kind of like all of our leftover overstock. You can see the massive amount of water bottles we have available, all ready to go, freshly sanitized. Some additional personal care items that we have backed up, and then a whole variety of different types of items that we just have extras of back here. So lots of inventory available. Definitely feel free to come use it. Keep inventory moving through.
So I've picked the items that I want. What do I do now?
Sure, yeah, so if you were to come in, get yourself checked in, and come get a shopping bag, you go ahead and make all the rounds, grab all the items that you want to get, and then basically you just take your items over to the scale, and then the scale will allow you to weigh in. And again, we're not really tracking specifically a certain amount. You're not limited to a certain amount of pounds or anything like that. This is really just for us to maintain our inventory of pounds in, pounds out. And that's really it. That's how we measure everything. We don't measure by item. It doesn't have any dollar value. So we just want to weigh it in, and then we'll write that down. Olivia will come over with a clipboard and make a note on what the weight is, and then you're on your way. Shopping experience over. So it's very easy, especially if you're a repeat customer. Initially you just want to read through the form and make sure you come to the agreement on what the terms and conditions are, but when you come back and you said you already have filled out the form once, you don't need to fill it out every time. So you're able to just kind of come in, check in with Olivia, do your shopping, weigh it, and then you're on your way. Typically a visit at the pantry will take no more than 5 minutes. So it'll be a very quick process, get you in and out. And again, we really want this to be a resource that students consider regardless of whether or not you think you need it. If you feel like you have a gap where you're not able to meet your needs, you're maybe missing a meal here and there, you're a little short before payday, maybe you got some hours cut unexpectedly. There's so many different scenarios and situations that I know I experienced as a student here that you may experience as well. And we want you to know that this is here for you to provide those resources in those kind of unpredictable times. And aren't we all living in unpredictable times? So I'll talk a little bit about the contact information. Right now we have a Facebook page, UW Whitewater Warhawk Pantry, and that's really our main communication tool. So you're welcome to drop direct messages in there, or otherwise keep an eye on some of the updates that Olivia posts for either items that we need, or kind of a recap of the amount of clients that we've had come through and other exciting donations and things like that. So we're always excited to feature some of our partners that way. We also do the good old-fashioned email. foodpantry@uww.edu is a great way to get in touch with us. So some of the examples of that would be during our off hours when the semester's not going on, we do appointment only. An example of that would be during summers or spring break or winter break. We might just do appointment only. You can email us or direct message us to set up an appointment, and then we'll come down here, unlock the pantry for you to come get your items and go on your way. We also have a phone number. It's 262-472-1757. And we're hoping in the very near future we'll have a website as well. So somewhere on the homepage you'll be able to search for the Warhawk Pantry and see kind of what some of the information is that I've talked about today in today's tour on the website for future reference.
What are your hours again?
The hours, excellent question. The hours are Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So those are the primary drop-in hours for anyone to stop in. You don't need an appointment or anything like that. Feel free to drop by. The doors are usually open to the outside world, so it's hopefully a little bit more inviting. Maybe in the winter we won't open the outside door, but we'll keep the inside door open, so you'll definitely see when we're open. Olivia does a great job of keeping the doors propped. So.
What happens if I can't make those open times?
Yeah, if you can't make the open times, please do reach out to us. Please send us a message, either email or direct message, and make sure you get an appointment set up. We're happy to help you pretty much any time we're around campus. So normally you can catch most of us during normal business hours. So as long as you can kind of wait to the next available time that either Fabiola Aranda, who runs the food pantry, Olivia, who assists Fabiola in that process, or any of us on the committee, we're always either in town or around campus on a regular basis. So we're happy to pop in, and usually we just kind of divide up to see who's around and who's most immediately available to help people out.
Let's say I'm a student who wants to give back. How do I do a food pantry drive?
Sure, yeah, if you want to do a food pantry drive, if you're with a student organization or if you're just a passionate individual that wants to help out, feel free to email us and let us know kind of what you're thinking. Usually when you're proposing something like a drive, we kind of want to know the usual journalist questions, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. So who are you and who are you representing? What do you want to collect? Where do you want to collect it from? What buildings do you want to put bins in? How do you want to manage the process of emptying the bins? We really turn the process of the food drives over to you, and then we're here to receive the final donations. But we've done quite a few of these, so we're happy to consult with you to kind of tell you a little bit more about what we would recommend as a process to really make your event as successful as possible.
I live on campus and I have a meal plan. Am I still able to come in?
Absolutely, yes. And there's a lot of students that usually don't have as many issues because of the meal plan, but the meal plan is obviously there to serve you during certain windows of time. And it's always nice to kind of have a backup plan. There's not a lot of options for your meal plan at, let's say, 2 in the morning, or some of the other times that you might be up late or up early. So anyone who has a Hawk card is welcome to come down. There's no restrictions on that at all. We don't even check if you have a meal plan. We don't even ask. It doesn't matter to us. We're just here to help you no matter what condition you're in. Just bring your Hawk card with you. I think we're good on questions. Olivia asked all of her burning questions. So again, if you're seeing this video either on YouTube, Facebook, or some other medium, feel free to drop comments or questions in the comments, and we'll try to find the video and get back to you so we can answer some of those. Otherwise, like I said, I'm really happy to be part of this project. I'm hoping that we can continue to do this, and thanks a lot for tuning in today, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.